Hi everyone, so today I'm going to talk about retiring early or indeed just retiring well as an expat. Now, what do you realistically need to do to retire well as an expat and what key mistakes have I found? Now, number one, I would say make sure you've got something you can contribute to make sure you can automatically save and invest. Now, what do I mean by that? Think about it. If you're from the UK or most parts of Europe, what do you need to pay? You need to pay national insurance or you need to pay some kind of compulsory tax which pays towards your old age pension. And in addition to that, most people have some kind of property. So even people who are late to the party, when they're say 55 or 60, they know that they've at least maybe got half or a third or a fourth of what they need just from that compulsory saving and investing. Now the thing is, when you're offshore, often you can earn more money and you pay less tax, especially if you're in say the Middle East or parts of the world with low tax. But by the same token, usually you don't have to pay into anything investment wise. So I would say to start with, make sure you contribute to something investing wise every single month. And linked to that, the second thing is don't compare yourself to people back at home. What do I mean by that? Let's say you're investing $1,000 a month. You might think, oh, that's good compared to Gina or Paul, who's only investing $500 a month. But remember that people back home, as I said, they are contributing to the existing social security system. So as an expat, when the going is good, you should always save and invest as much as you can. That doesn't mean being extreme. It doesn't mean, living off rice all day, but it does mean that, if you're already living a comfortable life, what's wrong with saving and investing 50% or more of your income if you're already doing okay? And this is especially relevant for expats who have their housing and schooling or whatever paid for them. Now, also linked to that a little bit is avoid the really, really big mistakes. Now, what do I mean by this? I was talking to an expat engineer a few years ago, and he actually was very wealthy. But the interesting thing is he hadn't done anything special. In other words, his income was upper middle income. His spending habits were very good, but not exactly incredible, right? Again, probably upper middle. So you might say, well, how was he very wealthy? And even when it came to like his investing habits were really quite decent. But again, you would probably say upper middle. He started investing early as an expat, but not incredibly early. He probably should have invested 1 or 2 years before he did. But what he did is, he was not only above average in every single department without being exceptional, but he avoided the really, really bad decisions like getting into tax problems back at home or having 2 or 3 failed ventures or being divorced 2 or 3 times or whatever. He just avoided doing really, really silly things. It's a bit like Charlie Munger, who's Warren Buffett's business partner, said it's incredible how much money we've made over the years just not being stupid as opposed to trying to be really smart. And this guy, this engineer expat who I met, is a great example of that. He lives in the Middle East, and basically he hasn't been exceptional in many areas. He hasn't been exceptionally smart or incredibly good with money, but just by being above average in most of the areas, like above average income, above average spending habits, above average investment habits and so on, but more importantly, avoiding those really silly things, he has actually become very wealthy just by doing that consistently year after year, decade after decade. So always make sure when it comes to things like your taxes, or it could even be something like your business, always make sure you avoid those what I would call black swan events or those unexpected events that could literally wipe you out. Another example would be you don't have any medical insurance and you have no plan about how you pay for medical expenses if it happened to you, or all of your money is in your business and you just reinvest the money, but something happened to your health, basically the whole show would come to an end. Always make sure you don't take huge risks. Obviously, you want a balance between risk and reward, but always protect yourself against those unexpected events. Because I've lost count of the number of expats I've met who, for example, in Thailand in 2014, lost their business because of the political unrest, or in Egypt in 2011 and Tunisia in 2011. People who had great businesses, great careers for 10, 20 years, it was wiped out because they didn't consider the bad things that could happen if things change politically or socially or whatever. Okay, everyone, I hope that's useful.